has been rumored for a while, but it actually is happening. NASCAR is actually going to be racing on a street course. And my reaction to that is, wow.
Wow.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
That street course will be in Chicago.
You serious?
Very J. Jonah Jameson. And Spider-Man is innocent. And also, that was the theme, the Thunder NASCAR team, which you hear a lot like throughout like the races and in the video games as well. They will start racing there next year from July 1st to 2nd, 2023. And NBC will show the race. IMSA will race on Saturday, July 1st. Here's Ben Kennedy, who is NASCAR Senior Vice President of Racing Development and Strategy, talking about having a street circuit in Chicago. This is a monumental day in the history of our sport at NASCAR, said Kennedy. Both series will race on a 12-turn, 2.2-mile track that goes around Grant Park and include Lakeshore Drive. The start-finish line will be located along South Columbus Drive, directly in front of Buckingham Fountain. Here's more from Kennedy. This is our boldest change in the schedule, he said. We said it has been pretty synonymous when we announced the schedules, that we want to be bold and innovative, and we think about new venues and new concepts that we're going to. This is number one on the list for us right now, and it's certainly going to be the most anticipated event of our season and one of the biggest sport events in our country in 2023. We're really excited about it, and as Mayor Lori Lightfoot had mentioned, when you think about Chicago, you think about the rich history of sports there, you think about the iconic skyline, you think about the iconic landmarks around the city, Navy Pier, Cloudgate, a handful of them, to actually have our NASCAR Cup cars racing around the streets of Chicago is going to be something incredible. The races will include music and entertainment. Here's Chase Elliott's thoughts on the idea of NASCAR having a street course and more. We need to make sure it's a good event, Elliott said earlier this month. The drivers might not like the track, and it might not be ideal for us. But when you're in the middle of a city and have the ability to draw that kind of a crowd to your race, we better make sure it's put on well. Done at a very high level, people have a good spot to watch the race from, things to go do, and make it an event. That's what it needs to be. And I think as long as it's that, and it's done well, it will be a success whether the drivers like the track or not. Ryan Blaney also talked about the idea. I think it's great when they're wanting to do something different and go to a good market. Your circuit has got to be wide enough to make it work. It can't be 15 or 20 feet wide. It's got to be wide enough where you can actually race. This race will be held in the middle of Chicago, which is the country's number 3 TV market. NASCAR raced in the area at Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet in 2019, which was the last time they raced in the area. It's more than an hour away from parts of the city. NASCAR also held its first race in Chicago at Soldier Field in 1956, which is home of the NFL's Chicago Bears. Here is Chicago Mayor Lori E. Lightfoot giving her thoughts on NASCAR racing in her city and more. I think it's going to be one of the most iconic race courses maybe ever, and introduce a whole new fan base to what NASCAR is about in the city of Chicago. We couldn't pass up that opportunity, said Lightfoot. To the fans of NASCAR, I don't have to tell you, are broad, wide, and deep. An opportunity to really, I think, ignite our tourism with a new iconic event on the calendar was a no-miss opportunity. Bubba Wallace talked about NASCAR racing going there also as he was at the announcement. I don't know what to expect going into this deal. I know that guys got a lot of work to do, and the city does too, to get it ready. It's exciting. I think as Mayor Lightfoot said earlier, being in the city, bringing NASCAR to this demographic, we talk about how representation matters. And I think exposing the sport to this area, downtown, with so much to do around while this race is going on is super important. Tickets for the NASCAR Chicago Street Race weekend will go on sale at NASCARChicago.com later this year. It was a good move from NASCAR deciding to race on a street course in Chicago. Obviously, it had been rumored for a while, and I couldn't believe it when it was actually considered like that is really happening now. It's true. And it just tells you how NASCAR is trying to, bring more fans into the sport. And obviously, they're taking risks as well, trying to do something like they've never done before in NASCAR. And the thing is, though, they're trying to bring the fans to the race try to bring the race to the fans instead of the fans to the race, because not everybody has access to go to races from certain places. And also, so it made sense for them to do that. Obviously, they did that with the LA Coliseum and the Clash, which was a big success there as well. Racing inside a football stadium in a big market like Los Angeles. So it worked out there, and they're hoping that it'll work out here too. But with the addition of the street circuit in Chicago, meant that some track had to go. And unfortunately, that was Road America, which have been talked about possibly being removed in favor of this. I wish it wasn't Road America. Honestly, in a perfect world, I wish it was Kansas, because a track like Kansas Speedway being 1.5 miles does not need 2 race dates, especially 2-day race dates there as well. I wish they would have removed that, but I guess they figured that Road America and Chicago are too close to one another. Since Road America is in Wisconsin, they figured that, if they're too close together, this is my guess, that maybe them being too close together might affect the ticket sales to each event, and it might have taken away fans from Road America and Chicago. But I mean, Road America was definitely a success. Obviously, they've been racing the Xfinity Series there for years, and they've only started racing there last year, and it was a success as well, especially because the revenue for a Cup race is much bigger than an Xfinity race. You usually get more full crowds too. And the fact is, with that, they allowed the Road Americans to be able to have more money and everything, more revenue to be able to fix the track, because they even repaved it, I believe, too, or got it to, because of the Cup revenue helping. And I think it's good. That's the reason for it. And it's unfortunate, but I figure NASCAR's been wanting to try to get back into the Chicago market, ever since they left Chicagoland Speedway, which they raced there from 2001 to 2019, and before that, Chicago Motor Speedway, which was in Cicero, from 2000 to 2001. And so that's why they desperately wanted to get back into this market, and I understand that. And obviously, they want to try something different with a street course, and I mean, which is the same street course from iRacing. I saw that in the broadcast from the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. Eric Pasoko, who does a great job doing the broadcast there. What a finish, by the way, with Casey Kerwin and Zach Novak. Epic photo finish there as well. He mentioned that it's going to be the same track used from the iRacing. So it tells you how big of an influence iRacing has had on NASCAR. They've obviously tested out the Atlanta Motor Speedway configuration that they ended up using for now the Super Speedway configuration in real life. And they've also been testing, I believe, the Auto Club Speedway short track, which still hasn't yet been approved yet, which still hasn't been done yet in the real life as well. So it tells you iRacing is a great tool. And obviously now that they're going to be racing at this track, they're going to be using iRacing a lot, especially. And it was also used for the Pro Invitational race. The last ever Pro Invitational race was ran last year as well, using this same track. But I don't know if it's going to be exactly like this. I don't think it'll be. But definitely cool that they're actually trying this. And iRacing, it's funny how iRacing ended up making a real life track. But well, it's going to be. But I don't think it's going to be 100% exact. I'm sure that they'll adjust it on the fly. Obviously, the drivers are not going to be able to go there and test. I mean, they can't test anyway without approval from NASCAR anyway. So they're going to have to be relying a lot on the simulator. And iRacing is a great tool for it, as it's one of the most realistic simulators out there to be able to use to race as well. So they're going to definitely be testing that track a lot, getting a lot of laps in to get practice. And I bet once they do have practice on the actual track, they're definitely going to be running, I would think, hopefully a more extensive practice, because racing on a street course or something else. And the fact is, the IMSA race will be held the day before, so it's possible that maybe some of the Cup drivers will end up racing in the event as well, just to get more track time, which is possible too, because of the fact that they're racing on a street course, which is something they don't usually do. But I mean, it's been popular in other racing series such as Formula One, most famous for Monaco, IndyCar. Their most famous events include Long Beach and St. Petersburg, and recently they added the Nashville street circuit as well. So it tells you other series can be able to race downtown street circuits, but those series have been doing it for years, and NASCAR has never done it at the top level. In the Pinty series, though, in Canada, they've raced on the Toronto street circuit, which also IndyCar has raced at. And other series I've tried racing on street circuits as well, but those are more the lower level, not at the top level of stock car racing like the Cup series. So they got to get this right. And I mean, if Ben Kennedy thinks this is worth a try, it's worth a try. So especially, but he said also that Road America might come back in the future. So who knows there? Hopefully at that point, if they do come back, replace one of those 1.5 mile tracks. We don't need 2 Kansas races, especially in the daytime, like I said. So get rid of one of them and replace it with the Road America. I mean, they're both in the Midwest, so I don't get it, but it is what it is there. But obviously, this is not the first time NASCAR is raced in Chicago. If you're talking about the video games, though, in NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup, they raced at a track called Lakeshore Drive, which is in Chicago. It's funny how they're going to use Lakeshore Drive a little bit in real life too. But this track was also known as the Walmart Raceway in later video games as well, from the EA Sports franchise. So it's cool like you be able to have like race Chicago like that for it. But that's a fantasy track. But that's cool like to see like them like actually doing it in real life. So it's definitely gonna be exciting to see like how the racing is gonna be. Especially I mean, and they could do this, especially with the next gen car, especially to be able to race like this, because the fact that they said that the next gen car races more like a sports car. So let's see how it does on the street circuit, but it's definitely like, going to be interesting and to see how it looks like, especially. And if it's a success, maybe they'll race more of it. But I don't know if that's a good idea. Obviously, I'm with Dale Earnhardt Jr. when he said on the Dale Jr. download, like he said it there, that keep it to like one. They don't do like multiple. It'd be like how the Truck Series was years with Eldor, and that makes sense as well. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Especially the Cup Series already has a dirt race with the Bristol Dirt. Keep one dirt race a year and keep one street race a year as well. So I'm okay with that. So like, don't add more, because then it won't be special anymore. That's the thing with the Bristol Dirt race and why it's special, because that's the only race they race on dirt every year. But the Chicago street course too, that you can do the same thing. Just have it once a year, because then doing more, it won't be special anymore. So it wouldn't make sense to be able to keep racing in like more than like one place. But I'm sure NASCAR is going to see like how it works in Chicago. But if it doesn't work in Chicago, they can always try it other cities like New York. It'd be cool to have one in New York, especially Jeff Gordon. He's clever for like a race like NASCAR, like the race in like the Meadowlands, New Jersey, all that, like for years. And that would be cool if they did. They were proposed the track in New York, but it never actually happened. But still, it would be cool if they raced in other cities as well, if it doesn't work. But don't add too many street circuits on the schedule. Then it'll start feeling like IndyCar, which, you know, if you want to see more street circuits, just go watch IndyCar. But the NASCAR doesn't need all that. So let's see what happens there. But still, though, what a nice move from NASCAR to do this. It's still hard to believe this as well, but I'm happy that they did this as well. But yeah, I agree with Austin Cindric, though. Like he was hoping that Road America wouldn't be replaced by this track without like keeping both. But you know, it is what it is, though. But we'll see how it happens with this, and I'm definitely looking forward to this race for sure. It's gonna be fun. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, and if you are brand new, subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.